Hi everybody, this is Indigo Twin here. Hope we're all well, and we've actually come out at the end of this previous week pretty unscathed. It's been a bit of a hectic week leading up to the full moon, so we're sort of still in its um, throes, and so there might be a little bit of interesting energy around. However, moving on. So here's your weekly reading for the week beginning the 17th of October. Now, I've got some interesting things happening here this week. So let's just go into a few of the things. And for those of you who are just joining us who are new, the readings that I do, the cards that I'm using are the Cartouche cards, the way of the Cartouche, and the details are below. And I also use the Isis Oracle cards by Alana Fairchild. Again, the details are below. But here we have the masculine energies, the partnership, and the feminine energies. And then, so what I go to, the way I work with the cards, and those of you who've been listening to me for a while now, I draw the cards at random. They come up, so I might draw a card here, then I'll draw that one, and so on. So they're never in any particular order unless Spirit guides me out otherwise. But predominantly this is what happens. So now, looking at this week, thank goodness the set card's gone. Okay, the set card, or which was the red card from last week, we had that for a couple of weeks in a row in the feminine, but it's gone. Great news. Love that it's gone. Which means that we've actually been doing we've been doing the work. We've been really honing in on those energies and getting rid of them and mastering that ego big time. So congratulations. So this week, feminine energies are quite interesting. Now, the masculine energies, I'll go into the masculine because some of you may have noticed we've got the buckle of Isis. Okay, the buckle of Isis has come up in the masculine again, as has the water. Okay, so it seems to be an overriding theme that's been going on with the masculine for quite some time now. So, but however, we've got the Horus card up here. Now, the Horus card, as I've mentioned before, is the all-seeing eye. Horus is the son of Osiris and Isis, and he's the redeemer. He's the patron of homes and families. He's all about physical healing, courage, harmony, beauty, creativity, and as I said, the family. So he's the healer. So what I'm getting here with Horus being placed in the sort of the immediate past, sort of or what's been going on with the masculine, is that he's going through a lot of healing, a lot of transformation. Now what that could mean, that is telling me something on a 3D level. I'm getting the strong message it's been 3D. That he's been sort of working through. There could be family issues. There could be some ancestral templates that he needs to clear and release, but he's been doing the work. So, and he is definitely got a strong message this week that the masculine is really up there in the 5D. He's got it together. It's really in the 3D that that he's working on. So again, you know what we're doing, we're looking at sort of obstacles. So with Horus card being there are obstacles that are clearing, and there are, Horus invokes strong healing rays. So what I can recommend from the feminine is at this time, really go into the 5D, go into your spirit, and really send out a lot of healing rays. Okay, that's really important for the masculine. That's what he really needs right now. He needs your healing. Okay, he needs your healing on the 3D level. in the material world. He's okay up in the 5D. In fact, he's probably better than okay. He's the one who's actually guiding us, the feminines, on the 3D. So he's strong up there, but down here he's still got a lot that he needs to go through. Now, in saying that, what I'm sensing, and this would be around this card that's happening around here, is that the feminine are sort of having a bit of a change around. Okay, so they're working on balancing the 3D aspects of things. Okay, now I'll go into that a bit more in depth when we actually get down to the feminine side of things, but I wanted to hone in on the masculine, because I know as divine feminines we are very curious at how the masculines are going, what it is that we need to do. So again, we have the water card coming up, almost in the same placing as last week. Now we know that the water card is actually a son, one of the sons of Horus. Okay, so he's the human-headed guardian. His name is Imsiti. Okay, so he is a son of Horus. Now, the water card is all about emotions, how one reflects life. This is what the masculine's going. He's getting this healing, and it's a 3D. Again, I can't emphasize it. Keep saying it's on the 3D. It's on the 3D. It's not in the 5D. That message is coming through strong and clear. So he is going through, working through his emotions. In fact, he's coming into more of his feminine side. He's got the Horus, the healer, the all-seeing eye, overseeing this process. Then, of course, we have the Buckle of Isis. Now, the Buckle of Isis is actually the last card of the deck. And interestingly enough, it's a feminine card. So it's a ceremonial buckle or not that basically represents the womb. So it's all about creation as well. So very much representing the feminine. So it's kind of giving birth to something. Now, again, I've mentioned before, it is a card that is growth with sacrifice. Growth with sacrifice. What does that mean? Reflecting on emotions and trying to understand or figure out how to bring things into the day of light. This is what this card is all about. And this is why this card keeps coming up with the masculine. Okay, he's really trying to work this out. So he's working out what can be sacrificed on a material level in order to come into divine union. Sacrificing materially what he can to come into divine union. Okay, that's what the masculine is doing. So it's almost like as feminine energies, the feminine side of this partnership really need to allow that masculine to come into those energies. Because after all, what is the point of this divine union when either one, whether the masculine or the feminine, haven't come to terms with what they need to? This is not a typical 3D relationship. This is a roller coaster. This does have ebbs and flows. This is what we signed up for. Now, of course, we have free will choice to get out of it whenever we want to. But what I'm having here is be patient. And of course, if we go back to this card here, the Sphinx is all about being patient. Okay? So let's go on to, I'm going to go on to the feminine side this time, because we've got a couple of cards that we haven't seen for a while, and that is the Scarab. Actually, I don't even believe we've seen the Scarab. We may have at some point, but it's certainly been a while since we've seen the Scarab. Now, what does the scarab represent? Okay, so you may have seen scarab beetles. Now, scarabs like to come, like to see the light of day. They move towards the light. Okay, that's the idea. Now, scarab is actually Keptera, the god of resurrection and immortality. It is all about renewal, adaptability, and acceptance. The scarab represents a spiritual rebirth. It's a new beginning. It's a new phase of life. And if you're feeling stuck, it's great news because you are now coming to terms to what is. It also signifies having a change around, doing something different, change your attitude, clear out your wardrobe. I mean, there is that old saying, if you clear out your wardrobe and make the space for your masculine, then you'll attract it. Law of attraction. Get in there. Make that space for your masculine. This is all about changing things around. So in other words, doing things differently to how you've been doing them recently. And that really means from here, and that's why I say, let's really send a lot of healing energy towards the masculine without attaching to outcome. Strongly, strongly suggest do not send him healing energies if you are doing it because you're attached to the outcome. You're sending healing energies because you love him unconditionally. You love him so much that you want the best for him. And you want him to come to you when he's ready to do so. Because if he comes to you incomplete and hasn't worked through these energies, then you're going to come into all sorts of issues, all sorts of problems. So keep going, keep doing with your work because you are divinely protected and guarded. Here, Osiris, number 1 card of the Cartouche deck. Osiris is the king. He is the divine ultimate divine masculine energy. It's just the divine. Osiris is Isis's partner, the father of Horus. So it's interesting that we have this masculine energies happening here with the feminine and the very feminine energies happening with the masculine. He's the Lord of Light. He's the higher spirit. He represents wisdom. He represents justice, integrity, stability. When Osiris comes up, it means respect those older and wiser. Be responsible. Now, it doesn't mean, obviously, that's the normal human thing, respect those older and wiser. But it's also saying, respect the highest of all ascended masters. Be it Christ, God, Osiris. Respect those. Really hone into those masculine ascended masters. Really go in there. Ask them for their support. Ask them what healing that you should actually send to your masculine counterpart. Really ask and you shall receive. Okay? Because you've got fire in your belly, feminines. The fire, and as I said before, this is the twin card. Now, interestingly enough, and for those of you who know a little bit about numerology, Scarab card is number 22. Osiris is card number 1. The fire is card number 11. Ascended master numbers, twin flame numbers, what can I say? They're all there, okay? All there, playing here. This is what you do. You've got a big role to play this coming week. Really got a big role. Really hone in on your energies. Keep burning those bridges where they need to be. If people are really annoying you, that's negative energy. If people, and actually, no, I'll go into that because it'll come up in the partnership section. Get away from negativity. That is super, super important, okay? Now, remember, also fire is another son of Horus. So interesting, we've got fire and water happening here, okay? So you need to keep burning that fire bright. It's energy, it's creativity, it's loyalty, valor, ardor, all those wonderful things. Bringing creative gifts into the light. This is what this is all about. It's the mythical bird. It's the phoenix rising from the ashes. So it's great because a feminine is coming into her true power here and really bringing these into the light, moving towards the new. Okay, it's very much. Now, this could mean also whatever you've been doing, it's time to sort of switch things up a little bit. Your healing every day, healing and clearing is so important. Even if it's 5 minutes. 5 minutes a day. I personally do healing and clearing in the evening before I go to sleep, and I also do it first thing in the morning. I'm very busy during the day, and I find that I have to, and it's a must, to actually sit there and do the clearing. If you've got more time to do some during the day, fantastic, even better. But if anything, at night before you go to sleep, because that's when you go into that subconscious. That's when the two of you can relate in the 5D. Now, going into the partnership, Anubis, the jackal hunting dog, the protector, the guardian. He's also the divine jester, okay? So he is actually opening the ways. He's all about making light of it. Don't get down on yourselves. Don't be hard. You are being protected at all levels here. It's all about navigation. So what I'm sensing very much here is that there's a lot going on in the 5D. Okay, not a lot going on in the 3D, a lot going on in the 5D, which is fine. That's great. But we are being protected. Just remember that when you're actually doing this healing energy, remember we're being protected. Now, the Sphinx we had last week, and the Sphinx is actually, it's secrecy and patience. It's the ultimate patience card in the Cartouche deck. So the Sphinx is all about, of course, you've got your half lion, half headed feature. It is the personification of the rising sun. It is just observation mode, really. Be patient. Be patient. Don't try to do anything other than your own healing. Unless, of course, you're really guided to. But make sure that when you are guided to do something, to take any action, it's from the heart, not from the ego. And I think we're sort of beginning to master that again. We sort of slipped up a little bit in the last couple of weeks, but I have a strong feeling that as the feminines, we're really actually working through that. So with the Sphinx, just be patient. We're both working through these self-imposing barriers that actually stop us from coming into union. This is what the Sphinx is actually representing. We actually both need to come into terms to our own spirituality before we can actually come into the union. And that is very interesting that right along beside, on either side of the Sphinx, we've got the water, which is the masculine dealing with his emotions, and then we've got divine wisdom and guidance from Osiris on the feminine. Okay, so we've got a very feminine on the masculine side, and we've got a masculine on the feminine side. So what we're doing here is looking at balancing those emotions. Okay, we're actually coming in, working through our masculine energies, and the masculines are working through their feminine energies, trying to maintain that balance, which is great. Well done. It also signifies keeping to oneself. Now, what I'm getting from that is don't talk to too many people about what's going on with you. I'm really sensing to really hold it close to your heart. Really hold it. Yes, you might have a best friend who you rely on. I mean, I know myself. I have another twin. I have other people who I know. We talk to each other about various things. If you have someone like that, that's fine. But I'm getting strong warning. Keep it to yourself. Keep it to yourself. Only speak about it to you. Yeah. Okay. All right. Yeah. Keep mostly to yourself. Keep mostly, and unless, as I said, you've got someone who you trust explicitly about what you're going through, and that could be a guide, it could be someone like myself or other twin flame healers. But yeah, really keep it there. Keep it. Keep it. They're saying keep it locked within. Okay. It's being protected. Keep it locked within. Okay. I'm sure you'll make sense of that somehow, but that's all it keeps saying. Keep it locked in. Keep it locked in. Right. Okay. Moving on down to the last card here in the partnership, the Crook and the Flail. Now, again, this card's come up a lot as well. Now, it's the crook and flail. It's the emblem of the Pharaoh's authority. Okay, so it's very symbolic of authority. It's all about self-discipline. This is about mastering of the ego as well. Coming to terms with yourself, overcoming life's problems, and taking responsibility. This is what the Crook and Flail is all about. Let's give that. Okay, sometimes if you look at something, it might resonate with you. Okay, so they're very symbolic symbols, ancient Egyptian symbols, and you often see with the pharaohs that when they were entombed that they actually had the crook and flail there as well as part of when they were sitting on the thrones. So it's quite symbolic there. So that's all that there's not a lot that I can say about it. It's I know we often want to know a little bit more, but I think it's pretty self-explanatory. It's a 5D week. That's what I'm getting. It's a 5D week. Everyone's doing everything in the 5D. So go ahead during the daily lives. Go ahead with what you need to do. Do your healing, do your clearing, and really work your way towards the higher dimensions. Yeah, that's what they're telling me. Move towards the higher dimensions. Now, okay, let's pull out a card that crowns this overall week. What are we working towards? What do we need to know? Okay, so let's have a look. Okay, all right. Need I say more? Need I say more? It's the twins. It's the twins. Here we have the card number 20 in the cartouche, the twins. What can I say? All right. Okay, the twins, it's integration. It's all about partnership. It's about divine twin flame, twin soul union. It does represents. These are the twin guardians of the heavenly realms. Their names, Shu and Tefnut, are the twin lion gods. It does strongly represent twin souls. It embodies, this card embodies the principles of integration. It does suggest a degree of balance. Well, what do you know? Let's just tie that in there. What was I saying about the patience and the balance? Need I say more? Okay, need I say more? That's exactly what's going on right here. Also, it's balancing within. It's all about balancing within ourselves. It's all about raising our vibrational energies in order to come into union. This is what this card is about, raising our vibrational energies in order to come into union. And the effort ultimately relies on self. To come into this divine union, we need to rely on oneself to work through our healing and clearing, as well as giving it to our twin. Now we know we are a four-legged creature. Okay, we are part of one. So whatever healing and clearing we do for ourselves, we also do for our twin. Okay, there's not too much more that I can actually say. But really use this week. Now, coming off the full moon, it is obviously our full moon energies are about clearing. So our manifestations that we set at the beginning with the new moon, we're sort of working through those as well. So remember, if you did any manifestations then what you haven't cleared, you need to actually clear up now in order to move forward. So that's what I'm getting a strong sense of what needs to be done. Now, I'm guided to actually read about a card today, as I've been doing over the last few weeks, and I'm going to pull the book because I know we talked about, I read the definitions about the Sphinx last week. Now, I'd like to read about what it says about the twins. However, I'm guided to read about the Crook and Flail. Only because that's one, the twins card is self-explanatory. But the Crook and Flail has come up so much. And being that it is about mastery of ego, I'm inclined to read about what that is. So I do have the Murray Hope book in front of me. So I'm going to read the symbol behind it. Now, just to let you know here, it is as a talisman. It's sort of looking at authority as well, and coping with your feelings, and facing up to those around you, and stand up for what you believe in to be right. This is what this is very symbolic of. Now, the symbol. The pharaohs of Egypt were always depicted carrying the crossed crook and flail. Likewise, certain of the gods included these emblems in the regalia, notably Osiris. The crook and flail carries a worldly significance, being indicative of the qualities of leadership and temporal power, as well as discipline, either imposed or self-imposed. According to the ancient writings, the crook and flail was said to express the masculine and feminine principles. No wonder I was guided to read this one today. Wow. These combined in balance produced a strong but fair leadership. The crook representing the intuitive or lunar aspect of one's nature, and the flail the solar and authoritative side. The crook was also the working tool of the shepherd, and as such it gathered Christian emphasis as one of the symbols allotted to Christ in his role as the good shepherd of the flock. Originally an agricultural implement used for threshing grain, The flower later acquired unfortunate connotations when it was adapted as a popular baton of authority by those in charge of groups of slaves or serving people. The message of these two symbols is combining of discipline with the gentler attributes of wisdom and understanding, which makes for truly gifted leadership. That's just perfect. Really, really perfect. It's a short description. It's lovely. Wow. Oh, got a nice surge of warm energy. So I'll send that beautiful healing energy out to you all now, because it's really coming through to me. So just taking this beautiful warmth energy, a surge of light coming through the crown. Feel it in your heart. Feel it coming down into your hands, open to receive. And now for our Isis Oracle ritual. I'll just shuffle the cards, and perhaps, as seems to be the case every week, we will get a healing process. This is what we need this week. Now, last week we had the Scales of Balance, which actually literally jumped out. So not sure whether we'll get something working like that this week, but I'll shuffle through and see what comes up. Get the feeling something wants to come up. Now, Isis, Goddess of Light, guide us all to our healing that we need to do during this up and coming week. These cards are playing with me today. They keep saying shuffle. It's almost like something wants to jump out. Okay, I could shuffle forever, but let's just split the cards and let's have a look at what we need to do. Okay. Oh, okay. The Scales of Balance. The Scales of Balance. Okay. That's a strong message today. I'm going to call upon Isis, because if you go back to last week's, I suggest that you actually repeat this ritual. Okay, so I'm going to call upon Isis now. So that's the Scales of Balance. I'm going to call on Isis just to give you, if there is anything else we can do in order to heal. So remember, for those of you, last week's video, that was for the 10th of October, we will have the ritual of the Scales of Balance. So I am just going to go and pop my fingers into this deck and ask Isis that she gives us a specific healing ritual for us to do in tandem with the Scales of Balance for this week. Okay, and we have the Flower of Life. Okay. All right, so the Flower of Life. What you need for this ritual is, and you may have to, I'll show you the actual what the Flower of Life symbol looks like. Okay, so that's the Flower of Life. Now, if you Google the Flower of Life and get one of those symbols, it will help in actually working this ritual this week. It's divine creativity and manifestation is the Flower of Life. You are entering a fertile period of your life. Focus on the innate creativity and how potent this is becoming, and watch it rapidly grow. You are guided to think of yourself as a creative being and to surrender your control over how things will manifest in instead. Okay, clear message. Instead, allow them to do so. Don't resist change. Instead, flow and let it happen. Now is the time for your blossoming. Your soul is hungering for creativity and manifestation of the beauty in your inner world, to witness it and live it in your physical world too. Much of your spiritual energy is directed into creative process, and your creative powers are growing fast now. As you are gaining more potency in your creative flow, it is important that you use this growing ability wisely. Become aware of how easy and quick your thoughts and feelings are manifesting into conversations, situations, and responses from the universe. Notice how quickly your prayers are confirmed through signs and dreams, intuitions, and opportunities opening up for you. You are becoming more and more swiftly that which you choose to think, feel, speak, and believe. This oracle suggests that the time is right for you to choose to align yourself with love each morning so that your thoughts will serve you well and manifestations you set in motion will be the ones that enhance your life experience, rather than more of what you do not want to experience. Now, this has come up during the week. Really change what you don't want into what you want. It can require time, habit, and consistency to change patterns of thought and behavior, but it can be done. You are guided now to allow yourself absolute and radical permission to detach from the past, to detach from past thoughts and behaviors, to bear the challenge of not knowing who you are or how you will be on the other side of transformation in order to let it happen. Okay, that really says to me, really covers this reading. Let go of attachments and outcomes. The flower of life holds the secrets to allowing creative change and transformation of circumstances, manifestation, and healing in the easiest and most enjoyable ways possible. The flower of life contains repetitive patterns, each interlacing and interrelating to the other, like the holograph that contains the whole within each part. In this way, all that is required is to tap into one part, one element, one thought, or one behavior that relates to your desired creative outcome and integrate it into your life. All the rest will follow through natural connection. The following ritual will help you create in a powerful and focused way using the holographic power of the flower of life. So choose wisely what you would like to experience. Make sure in your heart you are willing to allow it to come to life, because once you do the ritual, your life will change and move to accommodate your intention. It is a powerful skill within you that is growing, and what you put out will return to you multiplied. So make sure that is what you truly want. The oracle of the flower of life also brings guidance that you are in the midst of a changing pattern. And although it might be uncomfortable at first, it holds the seeds of what you desire, and to allow it to happen is wise and loving to the self. Be brave, beloved initiate. The flower of life is nurturing you into a more whole expression of your divine self. Yes, there will be moments of questioning or doubt, but they are such a small part of the beauty unfolding for you now. Enjoy the flowering of your soul light into form on this planet, all its diverse beauty. Okay, so as I said, what I'll do is I'll put a link to the flower of life, not necessarily this one. I'll try and put a link so that you can actually work with it, because it is part of the ritual and it's very important to actually have the flower of life. Again, just going from the book, this is if what you're looking, okay. So that's it. So if you can somehow find the flower of life, which you will, you just need to Google flower of life, or otherwise I will put up a link to one similar. And then, as I said, I've just pulled this, otherwise I would have had one. I actually have this symbol on my phone as a picture, and whenever I've had to do this ritual, that's what I do. So anyway, let's go through. So if you haven't got time to do the ritual now and you need time to actually obtain a flower of life symbol, then please do so. Just stop and pause. But if you are ready, let's now go into a quiet space. Go into your heart space and relax your breathing from your belly to your chest, feeling the rise and fall of the body along with the breath. Just relax. Feel the rise and the fall along with the breath all the way from your belly to your heart. Allow yourself to cultivate the feeling, image, sense, or perception of something you would really like to create, become, or be right now. Come from a place of joy and love, something that really makes your heart sing. Don't worry if it seems too much or impossible. Don't think, analyze, or judge. Just feel with your heart and trust. Sit with your vision or feeling and then gaze at the pattern of the flower of life. Holding the vision, feeling, or image in your heart as you gaze at the pattern, absorbing the image internally. Take your time. Enjoy the fact that you are seeding your vision or feeling. Relax into it as much as possible. Keep your gaze soft and let it hover over the pattern, noticing small individual flowers and then how they link together and continue. When you are ready, with your heart still connected to your vision and aware of the flower of life pattern, just say, "Of my own free will, with divine harmony and grace, so be it." And now, to finish your ritual, repeat the incantation after me. You can also use this incantation anytime that you need to boost your creative manifestation and bringing them into the physical world more rapidly. So now repeat after me. Flower of life circles repeating. Manifestation now increasing. Creativity flowing fast. With power of the universe fast. The whole within a grain of sand. Manifestations forms from this hand. With unconditional love so wise. Uniting power of earth and skies. Flower of life circles increasing. The energy grows through this speaking. Okay, so there's a lot of messages here this week. A lot of messages. A strong sense of us really going into ourselves. Now remember, the scales of balance. This card. I know it's really hard to sort of have this glow coming up. But probably if I hold it back, it probably works better. The candle seems to want to overtake it. Okay, it's the flower of life, divine creativity and manifestation. It's really important. The scales of balance, ancient tantra of the soul. Now, I have been getting messages and emails about me actually writing up the ritual on the page. I have to say, I really apologize. There is copyright issues with actually producing that. Sort of anyone sort of doing this similar to what I'm doing. I mean, we can actually read out what it says on the cards within the books that accompany them. But however, when it comes to actually publishing any of the rituals in writing, it's something that does have copyright issues. Now, I don't, want to sort of to breach those copyright issues. So, I know it's sometimes easier to actually read things, and I do apologize. However, yeah, it's definitely something that it's not within my power to be able to do so. So, in all fairness to Alana Fairchild and her beautiful cards, as well as Murray Hope with the Cartouche cards, we can't do it. So, I just, again, I'd like to thank you for all your likes, your messages, your emails. I really am enjoying doing the readings during the week. As I say, it's getting quite busy, so if you'd like a reading, then please email me, let me know. I do various readings. I actually use other oracle cards as well. So if you'd like to sort of learn a little bit more about that, then certainly just drop me an email. But other than that, my beautiful blessings to everybody this week. May Spirit guide you into such strong healing for both the feminine and the masculine this week. Have a beautiful